What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. We're gonna be talking about Prada L'Homme and Prada L'Homme Intense. These two fragrances are centered around the note of iris, which comes across as this kind of floral, powdery, kind of soapy kind of quality. It is very challenging for some people to wear because it comes across sometimes as lipstick. It's the same ingredient that they use in lipstick. A lot of people get turned off by that and they think that it's a grandma's handbag, but nevertheless, it smells classy as hell on a man. It's the same kind of thing that you would find in Dior Homme Intense, that kind of thing, or Givenchy Gentleman line, except for the extreme. I think they removed the iris in that one, which I don't know why they did that. All right, let's talk about Prada L'Homme, the original. I think it is just a phenomenal fragrance. And you can see that I have worn almost a half a bottle of it. And you know, there's nothing really else I can say about it other than this dent. Now, it definitely gets the hype online as being an office fragrance, and I think that that undermines it so much. I mean, it is great to smell good in the office, but I think it's such an easy fragrance to wear. It's a neroli heavy fragrance. It's got some peppery nuances in there. It's definitely in that floral kind of category. You know, you get this kind of nice bright and airy and breezy. It's very soapy. It's a soap-like quality that you're gonna find with it. The musk in here that they're using comes across as this kind of soap-like quality, this deep, rich, nice, soapy musk. And it's really nice. I find that, you know, whenever I wear it, I feel the most confident, upscale. I know when I first bought it, I bought it at Macy's. I found it randomly at Macy's. I had no idea that they actually sold it. So I sprayed it on. This was back in 2019. Sprayed it on and I did not understand the hype. I was like, this smells super floral, super powdery, very soapy. I was very kind of turned off. I was actually considering taking it back, returning it. So it is definitely challenging for some. So this is not like a Acqua di Gio kind of fragrance where you buy it and you smell it and it's like, it's really, really likable across the board. This might turn off some people from it. Not to say at all that this is a bad fragrance. I think that this thing smells phenomenal. It is one of the best fragrances in my collection. So it has a neroli character and almost like an orange blossom kind of accord in here to give it kind of this nice fresh orange blossom neroli kind of smell in here. Super well done. The citrus in here really kind of play into that whole neroli aspect and just give it this really nice brightness. But you also have some nice spicy aspects coming from cardamom, which is such a sexy fragrance note in the market. And the base in here is patchouli and sandalwood, which gives it kind of this warm, nice, rich and deep woody kind of vibe with a smoothness coming from the sandalwood. Everybody online touts it as an office fragrance and you can totally wear it in the office. So I won't even touch on that. It's definitely great for the office, but I think it's an excellent daily driver in the springtime and the summertime. It's just an unstoppable fragrance. It smells so good and it's an easy fragrance to wear. It might just be a little challenging for some. I would say sample it first, but it is so fresh that it could be a really easy blind buy. All right, let's talk about the Intense version. I simply love this stuff. I picked this up in the airport earlier this year. I was on my way to Florida, or coming back from Florida, from Tampa Bay, and I found it in the airport and I have never seen it before and I haven't been able to get a good price on it online. So I just decided to pull the trigger. It was my vacation fragrance money, you know, whatever. I wanted to pick up one fragrance at least on, you know, each vacation I go on to kind of remember the trip. But this thing is, once again, it's an iris dominant fragrance. It smells very floral and powdery and also that soap-like quality musk. The musk I think is called muscanone or something like that, but it comes across as this soap-like quality. Now with this one, you get the same kind of patchouli character. Patchouli is very cranked up and it mixes in with this nice leather or tonka bean sandalwood kind of mix in here, which gives it kind of a depth to it. So this one is very similar to Dior Homme Intense, which has this warm cocoa-y, powdery, kind of very woody, kind of dominant style to it, but it's also leaning so much into the iris character. I do definitely pick up some aspects of Dior Homme Intense with this one, but I think that it's such much more of a flanker of the original L'Homme and not necessarily a quote-unquote clone or inspired by of Dior Homme Intense. Now it could be marketed that way, I don't know, or made that way, I don't know, but I pick up the original a lot more than I do with than Dior Homme Intense. Now, I just want to say that the Intense version is one of my favorite fall and wintertime fragrances by far. It is so warm, cozy, and floral. It's just an excellent fragrance. And if I had to pick between Dior Homme Intense and this one, I would most likely have a hard time deciding. And it would honestly be a day of question. I would probably make up my mind on the day of, because today, or a few times this year, I would have picked Prada L'Homme Intense, and then sometimes I would pick Dior Homme Intense. So they are really neck and neck. They are such excellent fragrances, unstoppable. I think in my review I gave it a 10 out of 10. But what you're gonna find with it is it's floral, it's powdery iris, it's got a creamy tonka bean in here, warm, rich patchouli, and that leather nuance is just catering towards that patchouli really nicely. And the sandalwood in here is giving it nice creamy base with this like creamy like wood. There's such warmth in this, and that's the real difference between the two, I find. I feel like they're both the same DNA. It's just one is warmer and darker than the other one, and darker in approach of more patchouli and more leather. Honestly, these two fragrances really hold to this intense and original kind of DNA, to where you could buy both of them and have a day and night fragrance. And you would smell sort of similar to your daytime fragrance and sort of similar to your nighttime fragrance. So if you interact with people during the day and the night, they kind of will pick up a darker side of you, which I think is pretty cool. And I think they look amazing on the shelf. But if you're trying to just one, I would ask you, what are you needing the fragrance for? Are you needing a fragrance for going out, being classy, or do you need something for the office, or day-to-day activities, or just trying to smell clean and fresh? And I would say go with the original if you're looking for just a clean fragrance to wear, and go with the Intense if you're a real fragrance enthusiast that likes a deeper, richer fragrance that just smells super excellent. The Intense doesn't veer off too far from the original, to where if you bought the Intense, you wouldn't really get the soul of Prada L'Homme. I think the Intense is such a knock out of the park. I think it's well worth it. But the original is so well done, it's hard to decide. If you don't own any, I would say get the original. But if you're in a cooler climate and you're headed into the winter time, go for the Intense. Let me know your take in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching the channel. We'll see you next time.